I've often been uplifted by individuals and organizations that take it upon themselves to ensure that disadvantaged people and communities lead a dignified life. Philanthropy is the opposite of selfishness. It has a high purpose. It is a love of others to make their circumstances better. Responsible philanthropy is to help change situations of injustice, deprivation, squalor into their glorious counterparts. It is heartening to know that despite the challenges that civic organizations face, they continue to strengthen democracy in South Africa as political parties are preoccupied with their own agendas. They remain a force for unity, civility, and positive change in society.
Sociologists tell us that the feel-good social tissue that builds a nation is as important as the more tangible material aspects of nation building. With the final whistle having blown on the Soccer World Cup and the lights switched off at Soccer City in Soweto, it's back to reality. The majority of South Africans still don't have houses, decent schools, clinics, hospitals, electricity or running water. Xenophobia, crime, corruption, HIV/AIDS, and joblessness continue to ravage the poor. Civil society, in turn, needs to be measured by what it is doing to ensure that the momentum of the cup is sustained, reminding us that we can do it if we put our minds to it. It's time to change. Good NGOs and CBOs need to become great. They need to become formative, cutting-edge agents of change.
At the level of politics, South Africa is doing well. But at the social and economic levels, South Africa is not doing well. The often celebrated unity in diversity is superficial as the divisions are deep-going. An ordinary black person is still broken to the very depth of his substance. A healthy civil society is where ordinary communities are able to do things on their own rather than depend on the handouts from the state. Where citizens can hold public officials to account because they are informed not only of their rights but of the obligations of the state and how these should be discharged. South Africa requires leadership which can rise to the challenge of moral example in politics, economy, and society. This is the challenge and opportunity of civil society in South Africa today.
The pessimists are wrong. Look all around and the evidence is there. NGOs need to be the ultimate optimists, the ones bridging cultural and societal chasms, celebrating rich diversity and the value of every life. They need to remind us all that democracy takes work, dedication, and ultimately perseverance. But it is worth it. It's not an easy fight, trying to make yourself heard over the clamor of the bitter, the cynical, and the afraid. But I think as long as there are those who are willing to take on the challenge, this will one day be the rainbow nation of our dreams.